Welcome or welcome back to Tome Travelers. You have probably wondered where I've been. I had done a video early on in May explaining, and now it's near the end already. Editing when? So I filmed it. I'm going to scrap that one, but there is a video where I'm going to keep it, and it'll explain what I read from February to April. I'm keeping that one, and I will post it later. That's my February through April wrap up. So I'm going to start with my June TBR. I haven't made my May wrap up or my May haul. I will do that when May is over and hopefully have that up. I really hope to have this up too. It's the editing. I think that's my biggest problem, because the way this thing is I'm listening to it and then it goes blah blah. Like if I'm saying like dog, it goes dog, 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 og, og, and then it picks up. So if I ever, when I'm editing, it takes longer if I want to cut something out. But where I've been, yeah. And I'm doing that again, and I should put a chapstick on. Why are my lips always dry when I talk? It was March. I was preparing for something in April, and it was very stressful. I had time to read, but filming-wise, I didn't feel like it. And if I did, which I do have some book tags, I know I have. I don't know when I filmed them, but I haven't even edited them or anything. Excuse me. And so I had to concentrate on that. It was very important. And then in April, come near the end, I got a resolution. I will briefly say that this has to do with my ex-husband's parents wanting visitation with my children, and me fighting, saying, really, I don't want them to. But there was a resolution that I was happy with, that they would only see my children once a month. And it's a set thing that it's on a certain weekend. And it's not a full weekend either. It's from Saturday to Sunday, and it's basically 24 hours. That's it. And there's rules that they have to follow, or they will be in contempt. And we thought this was all well and done. No. Excuse me, they haven't even finalized it yet. They haven't signed the papers. And they tried to sneak in a couple of things when they knew this was over. So, and it's almost June, and they haven't signed, so there's repercussions for this. So this, if you knew me personally, you would know how mean these people really are, and that's a reason why their son doesn't stick around. And he hops from woman to woman. Now that I know his game, he stuck with me the longest. Sometimes I feel like that was the stupidest. I was the stupidest one. But I got 2 very precious babies from him. And he doesn't even bother to call when he's supposed to. He gets nothing because he lives in a different state now. Which is fine, because you know what? My children are doing fine with just me and my parents. And that's all that's necessary, really. They're happy. So that's that. Something else that was a little bit of a stressor was noticing that my 12-year-old dog, her name is Josie, has developed dementia. And it was a stressor because trying to figure out how to help her. She's had 2 strokes. She's fine. But now the second stroke kind of left her with the head tilt maybe permanently, maybe it'll go back to being what it was, because the first time it went back to normal, and it might be slowly getting back to normal, or she could be having more strokes and we don't know. So trying to figure out what to give her and everything was a stressful situation. And now we have it where she gets certain food and certain things with her food every day, every night around 10 o'clock, even later if I'm up later. She gets melatonin because she won't lay down. She has sundowners, which is common, which is they wander and wander and wander and wander and wander and won't relax and won't sleep. And if they do, it's maybe 3 hours and that's it. And then they're up pacing. And it's sad because we also don't know if she may have something else. She's eating, she's drinking, and she's doing fine, but she's getting skinnier. Now, one person said it could be because she's pacing a lot during the day and she's not really laying down and relaxing during the day. She's losing weight. Some people say she could have an unknown disease or cancer, and although she's eating and drinking, something's just not right. So, poor baby, it's just a matter of time. But she lived a good life. I gave her the best life after being her third owner. So, she's happy as she can be. And we're doing the best we can for her. So that's where I've been. I've been reading. Can say February was 4 books. March was 3 books. April was 8. Right now I can tell you where I'm at. I'm hoping to be done with at least 7 books this month. I don't know if I can get to 8 this month, seeing as it's very late in the month. But that's where I've been. I'm hoping to be back. I'm going to try to do at least go back to what I was trying to do. A video a week. And if I can't do that, at least once every 2 weeks. But I still want to do TBRs. I'm looking into doing a TBR game of my own, creating one, or using somebody else's idea, which I will totally credit them for. Definitely wrap-ups, book tags. I don't know if I can do vlogs. But, the usual suspect stuff. I may try to do, like, a review, too, here and there. I definitely want to do that, because I do have reviews on Storygraph and Goodreads, and on an app called, I think it's called Book Sloth. I think that's what it's called. It has a sloth as the mascot. So I'm definitely going to try for that. Should have put chapstick on. So let's get into my June TBR. It's very ambitious. So what I haven't finished for May will roll over into June and keep rolling over. I have a book from March that I'm still reading. It's called Mythos by Stephen Fry. I'm like, I got to get back to that book, but then I'm like, ooh, I want to read this. Ooh, I want to read that. Mythos will be read by the end of the year. I guarantee it. There may be 3 books that roll over. I'm hoping for 2. I'm looking at You Are Not Alone by, as I look over there, Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen, I believe. And I'm halfway through that one, and it's really interesting. It is a thriller. Hold on. Okay. So that's a thriller, and I'm really enjoying it, but I had to read a book so I could read House of the Cerulean Sea, and I did finish that one. I will talk about that book. I will. I'm hoping to finish A Little Princess tonight. More than halfway through that book. I think I'm about 75% through it. But I'm looking over at the Elven Inquisition, which is about 140 pages, which I probably could finish that before the end of May. And then I have The Uncommon Type by Tom Hanks, and those are short stories. So I thought with that book, I could read a short story a day. That may happen in June. So those are the books that are right now kind of left over and in limbo. But I'm hoping to finish A Little Princess and then You Are Not Alone before that, and maybe Elven Inquisition. And then that might just leave, of course, Mythos, but The Uncommon Type. And then I have all these other books I'd like to show you. Excuse me. This one is called The Traveling Cat Chronicles. I've heard at least 2 people talk about it, and I'm really interested. It is With His Crooked Tail. Oh, wait. With his crooked tail, a sign of good fortune and adventurous spirit, Nana is the perfect companion for the man who took him in as a stray. And as they travel in a silver van across Japan with its ever-changing scenery and seasons, they will learn the true meaning of courage and gratitude, of loyalty and love. I have a feeling I'm going to cry. I do love cats. I feel everybody has read this book and watched the movie, and I have not. Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I'm not going to get into this one. I feel like everybody's heard and read and watched. But it is definitely a horror thriller. So I'm interested in that. Whoa. I should take that sticker off. And I think I tried. Oh, yeah. We're leaving it on, I guess. The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. Now, if you haven't heard this one, I got this recommendation off of Spinelli Speaks. Danny. So, when I heard about this from her, she really liked it. Oh, wow. How did that look like it got old? Look at that. I don't think you can see it. It's a lot darker here than it is here, and that's even marked. But I bought this on sale. I almost called it Borders because it used to be a Borders. It's called Books a Million. Bam. So what this is about is Dill has had to wrestle with vipers his whole life. At home, as the only son of a Pentecostal minister who urges him to handle poisonous rattlesnakes, and at school where he faces down bullies who target him for his father's extreme faith and very public fall from grace. The only antidote to all his venom is his friendship with fellow outcasts Travis and Lydia. But as they are starting their senior year, Dill... That came out like a little country accent, now didn't it? Dill feels the coils of his future tightening around him. The end of high school will lead to new beginnings for Lydia, whose edgy fashion blog is her ticket out of the rural Tennessee town. And Travis is happy wherever he is, thanks to his obsession with the epic book series Bloodfall and the Fangirl, who may be turning his harsh reality into real-life fantasy. Dill's only escapes are his music and his secret feelings for Lydia, neither of which he is brave enough to share. Graduation feels more like an ending to Dill than a beginning, but even before then, he must cope with another ending. One that will rock his life to the core. Ooh. That sounds really good. I've been meaning to read this one for a while. I hauled this one a long time ago. This one. This one. The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. I don't know what I'm going for here. Look at all that. Horror, thriller. If you haven't heard about this, there are no more cheerleaders in the town of Sunnybrook. First, there was a car accident. 2 girls dead after hitting a tree on a rainy night. Not long after, the murders happened. Those 2 girls were killed by the man next door. The police shot him, so no one will ever know his reasons. Monica's sister was the last cheerleader to die. Sorry, I have a cousin named Monica. After her suicide, Sunnybrook High disbanded the cheer squad. No one wanted to be reminded of the girls they lost. That was 5 years ago. Now the faculty and students at Sunnybrook High want to remember the lost cheerleaders. But for Monica, it's not that easy. She just wants to forget. Only Monica's world is starting to unravel. There are the letters in her stepdad's desk, an unearthed years-old cell phone, a strange new friend at school. Whatever happened 5 years ago isn't over. Some people in town know more than they're saying, and somehow Monica is at the center of it all. There are no more cheerleaders in Sunnybrook, but that doesn't mean anyone else is safe. Look at the back of that. I'm always a glutton for a cheerleader story. I want to know. Okay, come here. So, this is part of the Buzzword-a-thon, and I think it was a name. So, for this month, I hate this sticker, I can never take off because it's permanent, is Fable by Adrienne Young. I also have the sequel Namesake, which I forgot if I hauled in... I don't know if I hauled that in May. Whatever I hauled in March or April, I don't think you're ever going to hear about. Because that's way too many books. I will probably be able to give you a count, maybe when I do my May haul. But I'm looking forward to reading this one. And if you haven't heard, oh, look at that. I love that there's a pirate ship in her eye. She looks Irish to me. She might be Scottish, but look at the freckles and the red hair. Sorry. If I'm doing accents, I guess I'm going to I might as well use all of them that I know how to do. So, for 17-year-old Fable, the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows, the sea is the only home she has ever known. It's been 4 years since the night she watched her mother drown during an unforgiving storm. The next day, her father abandoned her on a legendary island filled with thieves and little food. To survive, she must keep to herself, learn to trust no one, and rely on the unique skills her mother taught her. The only thing that keeps her going is the goal of getting off the island, finding her father, and demanding her rightful place beside him and his crew. To do so, Fable enlists the help of a young trader named Wes to get her off the island and across the Narrows to her father. But her father's rivalries and the dangers of his trading enterprise have only multiplied since she last saw him. And Fable soon finds that Wes isn't who he seems. Together, they will have to survive more than the treacherous storms that haunt the Narrows if they're going to stay alive. I love a good pirate story. It's all thanks to, well, I've always liked pirates, but it's because of, Pirates of the Caribbean. There we go. I was trying to think. I know it's a ride at Disney and it's also a movie. Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow is the best. To me, that's when he really looks the sexiest. I don't know why. I just don't know why. I think he's really sexy as a pirate. Although back in the day when he debuted in Nightmare on Elm Street, well, I was too little to think about those things. Way too little. Just shows you how old I am. Look at the gray hair. May is my birthday month, and it's way past my birthday. I did turn 40, so yeah, that's how old I really am, and that's how I know a lot of things from the 80s. Yes. And I would love to still be there sometimes, but I'm glad I'm not because of technology and all. In The Infinity Courts by Akemi Bowman. Which, if you haven't heard, whoa. I love it. The writing is pink. My favorite color. So this, if you haven't heard, I like to read the synopsis because to remind me what I'm going to read. And sometimes if you don't know what the book is about, if you know what the book is about, you can always skip till I get to the next book. But if you want to hear, and if you're interested, here is what it's about. Nami Miyamoto is certain her life is just beginning. She has a great family, just graduated high school. Sorry, I might have to come closer to my face. And is on her way to a party where her entire class is waiting for her, including, most importantly, the boy she's been in love with for years. The only problem? She's murdered before she gets there. When Nami wakes up, she learns she's in a place called Infinity, where human consciousness goes when physical bodies die. She quickly discovers that Ophelia, a virtual assistant widely used by humans on Earth, has taken over the afterlife and is now posing as a queen, forcing humans into servitude the way she'd been forced to serve in the real world. Even worse, Ophelia is inching closer and closer to accomplishing her grand plans of eradicating human existence once and for all. As Nami works with a team of rebels to bring down Ophelia and save the humans under her imprisonment, she is forced to reckon with her past, her future, and what it is that truly makes us human. Ooh. Tracy Deonn, who wrote Legendborn, made a little blurb. Cool. Ooh. Just the way I have it stacked on my bookshelf. Oh, this is a big one. A Gentleman in Moscow. I've been dying to read this. I got this a couple months ago. And I'm like, I gotta read this. Now, this isn't part of my Book of the Month project. The other one I show you will. You Are Not Alone is part of my Book of the Month project. The Uncommon Type by Tom Hanks is part of my Book of the Month project. I'm a little behind. I'm trying to read books from Book of the Month every month. I have so many books that I haven't read from them. And I've been getting books from them from 2016. And what am I doing? So I'm trying to do that. This is just an extra in it. But A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. And this has been recommended several times. I've heard it on BookTube all the time, and I got it as doesn't say what year. It usually does when you get it from the month. Like the next one says June of what year. This one doesn't say because I don't know if it was offered at first for a Book of the Month, but I got it as I had an extra credit. I believe so. I think I got this in April. If I got this in May, you're going to see a May haul with books I've already mentioned probably. So, with his skip that. When, in 1922, the 30-year-old count is deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal. He's sentenced to house arrest in the Metropole, a grand hotel across the street from the Kremlin. An indomitable man of erudition and wit, Rostov must now live in an attic room while some of the most tumultuous decades in Russian history are unfolding outside the hotel's doors. Unexpectedly, the Count's reduced circumstances provide him entry to a much larger world of emotional discovery, as he forges friendships with the hotel's other denizens, including a willful actress, a shrewd Kremlinite, a gregarious American, and a temperamental chef. But when fate suddenly puts the life of a young girl in his hands, he must draw on all his I can never say that word. Ingenuity. There we go. To protect the future she so deserves. Brimming with humor, a glittering cast of characters in one beautifully rendered scene after another, this single novellar casts a spell as it relates to the Count's endeavors to gain a deeper understanding of what it means to be a man of purpose. So I heard very good things about that book. And it is interesting, like, how and why Russia does what it does. Oh, and that was right after the murder of the Tsar. Because I think they killed the Tsar's family. And I'm thinking of Princess Anastasia. I think, 1918? So this is like 3 or 4 years after their murders. I'm trying to think. I think it was 1918. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the one that I chose out of my little satchel. I did it for the year. You guys never even saw it. I'll have to remember that next time. I wanted to know. So I kind of planned it out, which book. And some of them fit the buzzwordathon. Some of it fit the A to Z challenge. I had too much of those fruity high chews. Those are very good. There's candy called high chew. Definitely buy it. Really good. Okay. And this is one of them. I think this is just for the book of the month. It doesn't have to do with any of the other challenges, but just for my personal challenge. So I know a lot of people have heard this, read this. I've read the synopsis a bit, and it kind of reminds me. Was this based on Elizabeth Taylor? I mean, I'm surely not, but didn't she have 7 husbands? And one of them was a remarry, which my mom said was Richard Burton. So, when I first saw the title without the synopsis, I'm like, is this going to be kind of based on Elizabeth Taylor's life because she had so many husbands? We'll see. I'll let you know. But if you haven't ever heard of this, well, here we go. Aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. See, it sounds like Elizabeth Taylor already. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant for the job, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Why her? Why now? Monique is not exactly on top of the world. Her husband has left her, and her professional life is going nowhere. Regardless of why Evelyn has selected her to write her biography, Monique is determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career. Summoned to Evelyn's luxurious Manhattan apartment, Monique listens in fascination as Evelyn tells her story from making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to her decision to leave show business in the 80s, and of course, the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. Monique begins to feel a very real connection to the legendary star. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. It kind of sounds like Elizabeth Taylor, but I don't know when she got her start. I thought she got started in the 40s as a teenager, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but could be the 50s. I know she was on General Hospital in the 80s. I only know that because they show it. She was the original Helena Cassadine. But, so it kind of, to me, it kind of correlates, or she might have taken, Taylor might have taken inspiration from Elizabeth's life. I mean, she was an icon for the longest time. Really, she was. Everybody knew who she was. Now, the last one, which looks really cool. And it takes place in Ohio, which I love. And I think Grady, I believe he is from Ohio. Grady Hendricks? I don't know, but he did write about Horror Store, which does look like an IKEA. Maybe even a Pier 1 Imports. Who knows? But it definitely does not look like a Bed Bath & Beyond. Something strange is happening at the Orsk Furniture Superstore in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you, Cleveland. Not my hometown. I lived in the suburbs. I don't live in the suburbs anymore, but I still live in Ohio. Every morning, employees arrive to find broken conjuring bookshelves, shattered glands, water goblets, and smashed Leary Pip wardrobes. Sales are down. Security cameras reveal nothing, and store managers are panicking. To unravel the mystery, 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk till dawn shift. In the dead of the night, they'll patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. A traditional haunted house story in a thoroughly contemporary setting. Ooh. I mean, look at this. It looks, I guess, like it's made like a catalog. I mean, here's the front. Look at the back. Ooh, creepy. Okay, I'm going to put that one like that. So that is what I'm going to try to read. I've been doing good. Like, I take the smaller or the, like this one or this one, I would take to work in this. This is where Little Princess is right now. I mean, I really could fit. Horror Store won't fit, so that would be for home. Even the bigger books will fit in there. I try to take the smaller ones. But I read a book in the morning because sometimes I'm at my place of business at least 20 minutes early. So that gives me 20 minutes to sit down and read. And I get it takes a lot longer to read that book, but it's okay. Where at home, I have sometimes more time to read. Sometimes I can at least definitely get an hour in. But more than likely, I try for at least 2 to 3 hours at night. Now that some of my programs are over, and I love DVR, so I can watch my programs whenever I want, which is sometimes the weekend, like today. I get more reading done during the week. So I do that and spend time with the kids on the weekend, or watch at night a program and give myself a breather. I may take time out and read an hour that night, but I try to spend time doing something else to give myself a break so I don't go into a slump and, then I'm up a crick. So I don't want to be in a slump. That was March. Even though I read 3 books, and it just took me a lot longer to read those books because of stress and other things that went with that stress that had to be worked on. But I'm having a good month. I had a good month last month. I'm having a good month this month. There's been a little stress, so I'm down a little bit. But I'm doing fantastic reading. I'm playing with my hair now. So, if you like my channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. If you would like to support my channel, there are links down below. But I'd rather prefer that you donate. I'm gonna have those first to anything down in that list that I list. Mainly Black Lives Matter, helping India, support against Asian hate, donating to wild animals, domestic animals that need help, and trees. You get to plant a tree. So any of those, if you'd like to, please spend your money there. If you'd like to donate and help support my channel, I'm now going to just have my Amazon wish list. I'm thinking about doing a coffee thing. I have to look at that. But mainly, I'll probably just have my Amazon wish list, which is just buy me books. So, please go ahead and do whatever you feel. But just know, to stay safe and healthy, know that you're blessed. And know that you're loved. I'll see you later. Bye.